China, in many ways, is a unique problem because it is a unique polity, it is a unique economy. And unless one tries to grasp that uniqueness and understand it, I think the judgments, the conclusions, and possibly the policy prescriptions flowing out of it can be problematic. It's not just an Indian problem.
Are you referring to the economic survey?
No. I'm referring to the world's response to China. If today people are complaining about trade deficits with China, and we are too, why is that? Because decades ago, we all consciously chose to overlook the nature of Chinese production and the advantages which they enjoyed in a system where they got a level playing field with all the advantages that they brought to bear. So, my point is there is a general China problem. Do remember, Pranab, we are not the only country in the world which is having a debate about China. Go to Europe and ask them, what is today among your major economic or national security debates? It's about China. Look at the United States. It's obsessed with China, and rightly so in many ways. So the fact is, let's not make out as though it's only India which has a China problem. India has a China problem, a special China problem. When we approach the issue of China as a whole, Chinese trade with China, investment from China, exchanges of various kinds with China, we have to, if you neglect to take into account that this is a very unique country with a very different way of working, I think your basics start to go off track. So once you understand that, because there is a general problem with China as well as our own situation, all of you know we have a very difficult situation in the border for the last 4 years. I think the sensible response to it is to take the precautions which a country like India should be taking. Now, it has never been the government's position that we should not be having investments from China or doing business with China. It is that investment, because we are largely talking investments here. When it comes, trade is a different matter. I'm happy to talk about why we should be manufacturing more. But on the investments issue, I think, to me, it's common sense that investments from China would be scrutinized. I think the border and the state of relations between India and China call for it, but I think even if countries who do not have a border with China are scrutinizing investments from China. Europe doesn't have a border, America doesn't have a border, but yet they're doing that. So the fact is, the issue is not do you have investment from China or not. It's not a yes or no answer. It is what should be the appropriate level of scrutiny, how should you handle it. And when you look at that, sometimes, when I read stuff, including in your newspaper, where people say, we should clearly identify this is national security. It doesn't work that way anymore. Because what is national security itself has expanded. Tell me, if we were completely reliant, let us say, on pharmaceuticals from China, does it not have national security implications? If your telecom is, based on Chinese technology, can you be impervious to it? So it's not like, there is a clear identification of this is a yes and that is a no. It's a much more complex factor. And in my view, at a certain level with certain countries in certain situations, the line between economics and security is a very thin line. So I wouldn't, sharpen this and make it a kind of a yes or no, we should, be allowing them open door or we should close the door. It's nobody's case that either of those two options should be there.